Hey guys, my name is Dave, and welcome to another episode of the 1500 Instrument Challenge. Whether we get to the end of this challenge or not is yet to be seen, but today we are going to be introducing one of the easiest. I am going to be showcasing me playing one of the easiest, by far, instruments I have ever learned in my life. And that is the ocarina. Now, for those who don't know, really quick, any gamers out there who don't know, this is not the shape of a normal ocarina. A normal ocarina has a little bit more of a flat line on the bottom, more or less. Not to mention, you don't hold it like this. You hold it like this, and the holes are a bit more aligned. But hey, I got this one for two reasons. One, when we start Ocarina of Time, I can actually create a proper thumbnail with a real IRL ocarina that's shaped like that of The Legend of Zelda. Shout out to STL for this. STL Ocarina. Couldn't have done without you. You guys are awesome. But secondly, it creates a little bit more of a challenge to play the ocarina because it's an awkward position compared to our normal one. If you guys want to see me play a normal ocarina, let me know in the comments below, and I'm more than willing to pick one up for that. I have played a normal one before doing this, that way I can tell the difference. With that being said, we're here to see that I actually complete this part of the challenge, right? Well, first of all, this ocarina, the Ocarina of Time special ocarina that I got from them, which sounds beautiful when played, by the way. There was a book that I completely tossed aside and don't know where I tossed it, because this is totally not take 2 or 3 or anything like that of this. Crap. Well, just know this, I have no sheet music in front of me. How easy this is to learn how to play, how easy this is to play. I've had this instrument for 2 weeks. This is such an easy instrument to learn that within that 2-week time span, one of those weeks was me just kind of memorizing the notes to, admittedly, Zelda's Lullaby. So when I play this on this video, I could do it by memory. And it didn't even take me 2 weeks. It took me a day to memorize what was on the sheet music, which was this. That's all that was on the sheet music. Now, obviously, anybody who's played a Zelda game or heard Zelda's Lullaby before knows that's not the full song, right? Well, why don't we play the whole thing instead? And I did hiccup there, but you know what? This take will actually reshot it, and there will be no hiccups this time. Let's showcase how easy it is to learn how to play an ocarina. Let's do it. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, I can't figure it out. Okay. Serious now. I said there were no hiccups, but there were a few. Point in showing that, though, is that's just how easy it is to learn how to play this thing. I mean, now, granted, I will admit, since I've been playing musical instruments since I was like 4 years old, maybe it just makes it a little bit easier for me. But when I was 4 to 5, I attempted the violin. Failed miserably, to the point where my dad actually used to make fun of me for it. So that will be another instrument that we'll have to learn on this. And I think it'll be a lot of fun to do. But the piano, I started almost immediately after. I played up until extremely recently. And even then, I still sometimes would go to a random church. More often than not, it's a Mormon or LDS church, because that's one of the closer ones, and they are generous enough to allow me to do that as long as it's something mellow, which it usually is anyway. I usually, I've been playing that since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And between then and now, outside of this instrument, several brass instruments have been included, and a couple percussion instruments. Maybe for some reason, maybe that's why this is easier, because a lot of people say that an ocarina is hard to learn. But I'm like over here playing, and I'm like, how is this difficult? I mean, I don't know. If we're going to go off of a different Zelda song, I'm going to do one that wasn't in the book that I received, which, again, I have no idea where that thing went. And the main theme. Okay, that can't go that high. Again, that song isn't even in the book I was talking about. The book that I'm talking about consists of, I think it's called Midna's Final Moments from Twilight Princess. It consists of Zelda's Lullaby, the Song of Storms, Saria's Song, the Song of Time, the Song of Healing, I believe, and a couple others like that, iconic ones. But for some reason, they thought it wasn't necessary to add the most iconic Zelda song into that book. Oh well. But I mean, that only showcases how easy it is to frickin' play this thing. I don't know why people say this is difficult. It's not. But you know what? To each their own. Maybe to some people, learning how to blow in a hole that big with your mouth sitting like right there and putting fingers over specific spots to play certain tunes is just too difficult. Come on. Also, that was loud. What the heck? Oh, and that one wasn't... Okay. And I don't know. Maybe for some people, figuring out the right amount of pressure to blow into an instrument is more difficult than it really actually is. Bear in mind, this is, once again, this is coming from someone, like, I've learned how to play things as complicated as, like, the difference between a saxophone and a frickin' trombone. Which there are some big differences, but there are also some very slight differences. And for the record, anybody is wondering, no, I'm not counting the saxophone as an instrument. That's technically just a toy version of a normal saxophone. And if I do count it, that make it 1,501 instruments. Next time, though, when it comes to these instruments, the 1,500 instrument challenge, we're going to start keeping track of how many of these we actually do. Has anybody ever done all 1,500 instruments manually like I am before? Not that I'm aware of, and I think it'd be kind of interesting to see how long it would take to learn all 1,500. Now, bear in mind, when I say that, we basically covered 4 different instruments because of this one. This specific ocarina is a 10 or 12 hole ocarina, but there are 5 different types of ocarinas. No, 6 different types. Tenor, alto, and I believe the last one's called a soprano ocarina. I don't remember, but there are 3 different types of levels. Each refers to a different type of pitch. Like the sounds that you heard, like it'll be like 2 octaves higher for a soprano and 1 higher for an alto. This is one of the lower ones. I think there's a bass ocarina as well, but I'm not sure. Point is, you take this and multiply it by all 4 of those. Not to mention there are 12-hole ones. And then there are, I believe, the other one's an 8-hole for like 1 octave instead of every single half note. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, a half note refers to like... So, a scale being this, that, so it's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Anybody who recognizes that, you know what I'm referring to. But that's a whole jump. Whole jump. That one was half. Because of differential thing. It's difficult to explain to those who've never done music before, but the point is, the notes like what I just played would all be all that's on the 8-hole one. Whereas a 12-hole one has 12 different notes. The thing is, some scales have 2 halves. The ones... The gap between this... That is the half. You can kind of hear like the weird slow rise, the unnerving rise. That's multiple halves. And that's what the 12-hole one usually refers to. There are 12 halves in a full octave, going from the one note to the same note, one sound higher. But the 8-hole one, I believe is what it is, and that's a 6-hole, only focuses on just the 8 notes. That's it, instead of all 12. So covering the 12-hole one, I'd say we'd be allowed to surpass the 8-hole one as well. Not to mention, again, the 3 different variants of each, covering 6 different instruments. And I'm going to place this rule into any instrument. Piano, for example. You guys have seen that on here. That covers 2. The grand piano, and then there's a minor one. I forget what it's called, but it's like the home piano is what most people call it. Not to mention, it also covers, in my rule book, the organ, because literally the only difference is a keyboard at your feet. That's it. And sometimes that's not even necessary. So that's 3, and then the keyboard, which is the 4th. It's like the electronic version of a normal piano. That's 4 instruments, plus 6 more. Out of the 1,500 at this point, we've covered 10. Just by simply playing 2 physical instruments. And this rule will still apply for future instruments. Like the trombone, there are 3 different variants of a trombone. We will only be learning and playing one of them, and we'll see where that goes from here. It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out, though. How we're going to lay out which ones we've already done, I'm not sure yet. And how far we'll get, I'm still not sure. I don't know if we're going to cover all 1,500 or not, especially with how busy that I'm getting when it comes to outside of the streams and my part-time job. Otherwise, there's actually another little surprise for everyone who misses the olden days of the internet coming. But that still has a lot of work. And that's the other piece. But because of that factor, I figured might as well make the next step in the 1,500 instrument challenge. 10 instruments down, 1,490 to go. Oh gosh. Including the voice, which we will be covering next time. I'm still trying to figure out what song I should do or how I should approach it while singing that. If you guys got a suggestion, let me know. I might be willing to do that one. But in the meantime, thank you everyone for watching this video. I don't know. What instrument would you guys like to see me do next in the 1,500 challenge? If you have an interest in this, let me know in the comments below. I've kind of gone off of whims so far. Originally, the challenge, I'll admit, was put up so I could actually get this. I'm not even going to lie, it was an excuse to get and learn this. I just didn't expect it to be as easy as it is. In fact, it's so easy that I've already also learned other cinematic-based songs, which is why I didn't play those today, because copyright. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what instrument you'd like to see next, outside of the singing one, because that's probably going to be the next one. But yeah, let me know, and I'll see you guys later. Stupid hair, go down. Ugh, whatever. Alright, bye, guys.